There's something I've hesitated to say for a long time, not because it's dangerous, but because once you hear it, your life will never look the same again. I was warned not to share this, to keep it hidden, to let people continue living on autopilot, but you deserve more than that. You deserve the real truth, the truth about why your manifestations feel blocked, why your reality repeats the same patterns, and why your breakthroughs always arrive just a moment too late. What I'm about to reveal isn't motivational, and it isn't spiritual fluff. It's a quantum shift hiding behind everyday life, something your mind has felt, your intuition has whispered, and your dreams have tried to show you. This is the secret, hidden behind synchronicities, déjà vu, and the strange feeling that life is trying to communicate with you. This is the key the world pretends doesn't exist. So listen closely and delete this after watching. The reality you see is only the surface layer. Most people grow up believing that reality is limited to what they can touch with their hands, see with their eyes, or measure with tools. We trust physical objects, visible events, and logical explanations because that's what we were taught. But what you call your life, your daily routines, your relationships, your successes, your failures, is only the outer shell of something much deeper. Beneath everything you experience exists a hidden framework, a kind of energetic architecture, a quantum blueprint that quietly shapes how your reality forms. You're not walking through life randomly. You're walking inside a field of energy that responds to you constantly. Every emotion you feel, every thought that crosses your mind, every belief you hold, and every intention you set, all of it sends out a vibration. These vibrations move through that invisible blueprint like ripples in water. And just like ripples can change the entire surface of a lake, your energy shifts the structure of your reality. This is exactly why two people can be in the same situation, same job, same city, same opportunity, and still experience completely different outcomes. One person attracts growth, progress, and good fortune, while the other attracts delays, resistance, and confusion. The difference is not luck, it's frequency. You don't attract what you wish for, you attract what your energy is, silently broadcasting every moment of the day. And here's the part most people never realize, because no one teaches this in school, and society prefers you stay unconscious to it. Your mind is not just reacting to reality. Your mind is constructing it, shaping it, influencing it, and quietly programming it every second. Reality doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. The world mirrors the vibration you hold inside, and once you understand that, you stop feeling powerless because you finally see how much control you've had all along. Your thoughts don't manifest, your frequency does. Most people believe that manifestation is all about thinking positive or repeating encouraging sentences in their mind. They assume that if they force enough positive thoughts, their life will suddenly change. But the truth is far deeper and far more powerful than that. Your thoughts alone do not create your reality. It is your frequency, the energy behind those thoughts, that shapes everything around you. You could sit in your room all day telling yourself, "I am successful," or "I am wealthy." But if deep inside you feel fear, doubt, insecurity, or unworthiness, then the universe responds to that inner vibration, not the words you speak. The quantum field does not listen to sentences, it listens to emotional signals. Your frequency is made up of your deepest beliefs, your emotional patterns, your self-image, your expectations, and even the stories you tell yourself when no one else can hear. This is why someone who constantly worries about losing money keeps losing more. It is why someone who fears rejection attracts the same type of people. It is why someone who secretly believes they are not good enough keeps running into situations that confirm that belief. Their words say one thing, but their frequency broadcasts something completely different, and the universe always mirrors the broadcast, not the statement. Your frequency is like a magnet. It pulls experiences that match its vibration. When you carry confidence, you attract opportunities. When you carry clarity, solutions appear. When you carry peace, chaos dissolves. When you carry self-worth, doors open without effort. But when you carry fear, the world echoes it. When you carry anxiety, life amplifies it. When you carry scarcity, everything feels out of reach. This is why manifestation feels difficult for most people. They are trying to change their life from the surface, instead of shifting the energy beneath it. They focus on repeating affirmations, but ignore the emotional wounds that contradict those affirmations. They try to attract abundance while still vibrating the frequency of lack. They want growth, but their subconscious is still holding memories of failure. They say they want love, but their nervous system still expects pain. And here is the hidden truth almost no one explains clearly. The universe responds to your dominant frequency, not your temporary thoughts. A passing thought has little power, but a repeating emotion becomes a signal. That signal becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes a frequency. And that frequency becomes your reality. Once you learn to shift your inner vibration, the beliefs you carry, the emotions you release, the energy you embody, your outer world begins rearranging itself naturally. Not through force, not through effort, but through alignment. That is how manifestation truly works, not through thinking, but through becoming. Your timeline is not fixed, you shift it by feeling. Most people live as if their future is already written, as if their path is set in stone, and they have no control over what comes next. They repeat the same routines, fall into the same patterns, and face the same outcomes year after year, not because destiny is unchangeable, but because they don't realize they are shifting timelines every single day without even knowing it. The truth is simple but mind-shattering. Your life is not one straight line. It is an ocean of possible timelines, all existing at the same time, and you move between them through your inner state. Think of timelines like radio stations. Every station is broadcasting right now, but you only hear the one you tune your device to. If your mind is tuned into fear, you shift yourself into timelines where fear becomes reality. Opportunities slip, people disappoint you, and progress feels blocked. If your inner state is tuned into doubt, you enter timelines where everything takes longer and nothing flows naturally. But if your energy shifts toward confidence, clarity, gratitude, and inner strength, suddenly you move into timelines where solutions appear quickly, the right people show up, and life feels aligned instead of heavy. Timelines are not chosen through force or effort, they are chosen through frequency, and frequency is created through feeling, not fake positivity, but the real emotional vibration you carry underneath your thoughts. This is why an entire day can transform just because you shifted your mood. One moment of clarity can create a different path. One moment of courage can unlock a timeline where you become a completely different version of yourself. One powerful emotional shift can move you from a timeline of resistance to a timeline of expansion. Every decision you make carries you into a slightly different version of the future. Every reaction you choose creates a ripple. Every thought you nurture plants a seed. But your dominant emotional state is what determines the timeline you end up living in. If you constantly feel defeated, you step into timelines where life pushes back harder. If you feel unworthy, you shift into timelines where opportunities feel distant or impossible. If you feel invisible, you land in timelines where no one sees your value. Most people think the world is against them, but in reality, they are living in the timeline that matches their inner vibration. And here's the part that can change everything. You do not need to change your entire personality to shift your timeline. You only need to change the emotional frequency you return to most often. One shift in your inner state is enough to redirect the path beneath your feet. When you begin to feel aligned, grateful, calm, or empowered, you naturally slide into timelines where good things unfold. Your timeline rearranges itself without you forcing anything. Events line up, synchronicities appear, people show up at the perfect moment. Life feels smoother, lighter, and more supportive because you finally tuned into the frequency where those experiences already existed. You have walked through thousands of invisible timelines in your life without noticing. The difference now is that you can choose them intentionally. And the moment you realize that, you stop waiting for life to change and start shifting into the version of life that matches who you are becoming. The universe tests you before it transforms you. One of the biggest misunderstandings in life is thinking that chaos means you're going backward, or that discomfort means you're failing. But the truth is the opposite. Before any major quantum shift in your life, you will always experience a period of pressure, confusion, emotional intensity, and sudden changes. Most people call this bad luck. In reality, it is the universe preparing you for alignment. It is the cleansing before the rise. It is the breaking before the breakthrough. Think of it like upgrading a system. Before the new program can run smoothly, the old files must be deleted, outdated software must be removed, and corrupted data must be cleared out. The process looks messy, but it's necessary. The same thing happens in your life. When you are about to shift into a higher level of reality, everything inside you and around you that cannot exist in that next level begins to fall apart. Old habits break, old emotional patterns surface, old relationships loosen, old environments feel uncomfortable, old versions of you begin to dissolve. Not because something is wrong, but because the frequency of your life is rising and anything that cannot match it gets pushed out. You cannot carry low vibrations into a higher timeline, so the universe removes them, sometimes gently, sometimes explosively, but always with purpose. This is why you may feel lost right before you become found. This is why you may feel alone right before you meet the right people. This is why your plans may collapse right before something better appears. This is why your emotions may intensify right before your energy upgrades. Most people panic during this stage. They think the universe is rejecting them, closing doors, or punishing them. They fight the process, resist the change, and cling to what is falling apart. And that resistance delays the transformation. But the people who stay calm, conscious, and aware during this stage become unstoppable. They understand that the discomfort is not an ending, it is the clearing of the old timeline so the new one can form. The universe always tests your stability before granting you a bigger reality. It asks, can you hold the vibration of what you're asking for? Because if you collapse the moment things shake, you won't be able to sustain the reality you want. Growth always comes disguised as challenge. Expansion always arrives wearing the mask of discomfort. Even nature follows this pattern. Storms clear space for new life. Pressure forms diamonds, fire purifies forests, and darkness prepares the dawn. Your quantum shift works the same way. When life feels chaotic, it's not falling apart. It's rearranging itself. It's aligning you with a new timeline, a higher version of yourself, and a future you couldn't reach with your old energy. The universe is not fighting you, it is shaping you. It is not blocking you, it is preparing you. And the moment you stop resisting and begin trusting the process, the transformation accelerates. You walk out of the chaos with clarity. You step out of the pressure with strength. You rise from the discomfort with new energy. Because the test was never meant to break you, it was meant to reshape you into someone capable of holding the reality you asked for. Your subconscious is the door. Your consciousness is the key. Most people try to change their life using only their conscious mind. They repeat affirmations, force positive thoughts, write goals, and visualize outcomes. But nothing truly sticks, and nothing truly changes, because the conscious mind is only a tiny fraction of your inner world. It controls maybe 5% of your daily actions. The other 95%, your habits, reactions, fears, beliefs, and energetic patterns, all come from the subconscious. That means the part of you that creates your reality is not the part you speak from, but the part you feel from. Your subconscious is not logical. It doesn't care about words or explanations. It only understands emotion, repetition, and energy. It stores every experience you've ever had, including the ones you forgot. It remembers every rejection, every success, every trauma, every fear, every moment you felt invisible or unworthy. Those memories turn into patterns. Those patterns turn into beliefs. And those beliefs send out a vibration that becomes the foundation of your reality. This is why someone can want something deeply and still not receive it. You may consciously desire financial freedom, but subconsciously fear responsibility. You may consciously want a healthy relationship, but subconsciously expect abandonment. You may consciously dream of a better life, but subconsciously believe you don't deserve it. And because the subconscious is stronger, it wins every time. Your subconscious is like the operating system of a computer, silent, hidden, but controlling everything. Your conscious thoughts are just the apps on the surface. When your subconscious programming doesn't match your conscious desires, you feel stuck, confused, and blocked. That's why manifestation never feels consistent. You're trying to upload a new reality while your subconscious is still running the old software. But here's the empowering truth. Your subconscious is not your enemy. It is simply following the programming it received earlier in your life, often without your permission. You were shaped by childhood experiences, social conditioning, emotional wounds, and past failures, none of which were consciously chosen. But all of them became part of your vibration. Once you understand this, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself, you stop feeling powerless, and you start realizing that reprogramming your subconscious is the most powerful transformation you can ever experience. So how does the subconscious change? Not through forcing thoughts, but through sending new emotional signals, because emotion is the language it understands. When you repeatedly feel a new vibration, calm, abundance, worthiness, and confidence, the subconscious begins updating your inner blueprint. Visualization works because it stimulates emotion. Meditation works because it quiets the old patterns. Gratitude works because it rewires the emotional frequency you broadcast. Repetition works because it replaces old neural pathways with new ones. Your conscious mind sets the intention. Your subconscious mind opens the door. And the moment both become aligned, your reality shifts effortlessly. You stop attracting from old wounds and start attracting from new energy. You stop reliving past patterns and start experiencing new timelines. Life stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a flow, because now your inner world and outer world are finally speaking the same language. You are not stuck. You are simply running an old program. And the moment you install a new emotional frequency, your entire reality upgrades with it. The universe responds to clarity, not confusion. One of the biggest reasons people feel stuck in life is because their energy is scattered. They want too many things at once, doubt half of those things, fear the rest, and hope the universe somehow chooses for them. But manifestation doesn't work like that. The universe is not responding to your wishes, it is responding to your clarity. When your inner world is confused, your outer world becomes chaotic. When your intentions are divided, your timeline becomes blurry. But when your energy is clear and focused, reality aligns with surprising speed. Imagine trying to tune a radio while constantly switching stations. You would only hear static. Most people live their lives in that state, jumping from one desire to another, from excitement to fear, from hope to doubt. Half their mind wants change, the other half wants comfort. One part wants growth, another part fears failure. This creates an unstable frequency, and an unstable frequency produces unstable results. Clarity is not about knowing every step. Clarity is about knowing the direction. When you decide who you want to become, truly decide, not just think about it, a powerful shift happens. Your energy stops scattering, your vibration becomes coherent, and the universe finally has a clear signal to respond to. This is why certain people seem to manifest effortlessly. It's not because they are lucky or gifted, it's because they are precise. They know what they want, they move with intention, and their actions match their energy. There is no inner conflict, no hidden resistance. Their vibration sends one message, not 10 different ones. And a single, focused vibration is far more powerful than 1,000 scattered thoughts. But most people sabotage their clarity without realizing it. They change their goals every week. They overthink their decisions. They fear choosing the wrong path. They ask for something but secretly expect disappointment. They hope for a breakthrough but energetically prepare for failure. This confuses the quantum field. It delays manifestation, and it keeps reality stuck in a loop of mixed signals. Here's the truth no one tells you. When you cannot decide, the universe decides nothing for you. But when you make a clear, energetic decision, everything around you begins to rearrange itself to match that decision. Opportunities appear. People enter your life at the perfect moment. Random chances become aligned events. Coincidences turn into synchronicities. Doors open that were previously invisible. Because clarity acts like gravity, it pulls the right experiences toward you without force. Confusion pushes them away. Clarity is not loud. It is quiet, calm, certain. It comes from alignment, not pressure. And when you reach that level of inner certainty, you don't chase outcomes anymore. They gravitate to you. You no longer doubt your path, you walk it with confidence. And even challenges feel different because you know exactly where you're headed. The universe is always listening. The question is, are you speaking clearly? Once your intentions, emotions, actions, and beliefs point in the same direction, manifestation becomes natural, not magical, not forced, natural. Because reality finally knows what to deliver, and you finally know what you're asking for. You become unstoppable when you stop fighting your current reality. Most people never realize how much energy they waste fighting the life they're currently living. They resist their circumstances, resent their problems, complain about their situation, and judge every experience that doesn't match their expectations. But what they don't understand is that resistance is one of the strongest blocks to manifestation. The more you fight what is happening, the more power you give it. The more you push against your reality, the more solid it becomes. And the more you label your circumstances as unfair, bad, or hopeless, the longer you stay stuck in them. Reality is not trying to destroy you, it is trying to guide you. But when you resist, you interrupt that guidance. You trap yourself in the same frequency that created the situation in the first place. If you call your environment negative, you begin vibrating negativity. If you call your life stressful, you begin vibrating stress. If you see everything as a burden, your energy becomes heavy, and heavy energy attracts heavier outcomes. Without even noticing, you keep recreating the same experiences you want to escape. But the moment you stop fighting your reality and begin observing it, something powerful happens. Your frequency rises, your mind expands, your energy becomes lighter. You start seeing patterns instead of problems. You start noticing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin understanding that what is happening now is not your final destination. It is simply a reflection of your past vibration, and you are free to choose a new vibration at any moment. This is where true power begins. The universe does not respond to stress, fear, or force. It responds to clarity, calmness, and alignment. When you stop resisting your current situation, you stop feeding it energy. You break the emotional link that was keeping it alive. You create space for something new to enter, and that space becomes the doorway to your next timeline. Acceptance does not mean approving your situation. It means acknowledging it without letting it control your vibration. It means saying, "This is where I am, but this is not where I'm staying." Acceptance turns off the emotional static. It quiets the noise. It puts your energy back in your hands. And when your energy returns, your reality becomes flexible again, moldable, influenceable, open to change. Think of reality like clay. When you resist it, it becomes hard, rigid, unchangeable. But when you stop fighting and relax your energy, the clay softens. It becomes pliable. You can shape it any way you choose. The version of you that resists life is weak and reactive. The version of you that flows with life is strong and creative. You are no longer pushed by circumstance. You are guided by intention. When you stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to show me?" everything transforms. You stop being a victim of your life and become the designer of it. Problems lose their power. Fear loses its grip. Your past loses its influence. And your future becomes something you consciously build instead of accidentally inherit. You become unstoppable the moment you stop fighting the moment you're in. Because resistance ties you to the old timeline, but acceptance frees you to step into a new one. Once you truly understand this, you stop battling life and start shaping it. You stop reacting to circumstances and start directing energy. You stop drowning in frustration and start flowing with transformation. Nothing in your life is permanent unless you keep feeding it. And the moment you stop resisting, your entire reality becomes ready to change. Now that you've heard these truths, you can't go back to the old way of seeing your life. Something inside you has already shifted. You can feel it, that subtle internal click when a deeper truth enters your awareness. For years, you were taught that life happens to you, that your circumstances control you, that reality is fixed and unchangeable. But now you understand something far more powerful. You are not a passenger in your life. You are the architect of it. You've seen how your frequency shapes your experiences, how your emotions guide your timeline, how your subconscious programs your destiny, and how resistance traps you in old realities. You've seen how clarity draws your future closer, how acceptance frees your energy, and how every thought you nurture creates ripples far beyond the surface of your mind. This understanding alone places you in a different category than most people, because most people live unconsciously, reacting, repeating, and reliving the same stories. But you are no longer unconscious. You are awake. Your life, from this moment forward, will feel different, not because the outside world has changed yet, but because you have changed. And once your inner world shifts, the outer world cannot remain the same. You will start noticing synchronicities, those strange little alignments that feel too perfect to be random. You will feel yourself drawn toward certain decisions without knowing why. You will meet people who match the energy you are becoming, not the energy you used to carry. You will see opportunities that were always there, but you weren't tuned into their frequency before. And as you continue aligning with your new vibration, your life will begin rearranging itself with precision. Old timelines will fade, old emotional patterns will weaken, old fears will lose their authority. You will stop chasing and start attracting. You will stop doubting and start creating. You will stop asking for permission and start stepping into the version of yourself you were always meant to become. But here's the truth you must remember. This shift is not a one-time moment, it is a continuous choice. Every day you choose your frequency. Every day you choose your clarity. Every day you choose whether to resist or flow, whether to fear or trust, whether to stay in an old reality or step into a new one. Your future is not waiting for someday. It is waiting for your next vibration. You were warned not to hear this, because once you understand how much power you hold, you become someone the world can no longer manipulate, contain, or predict. You begin living from consciousness instead of conditioning. You begin creating from intention instead of circumstance. You begin designing your timeline instead of surviving it. So take a deep breath. Feel this truth settling into you. Your transformation has already begun. Your old self is dissolving, your new timeline is forming, and your energy is rising into a higher version of itself, a version that is clearer, calmer, more powerful, and more aligned than ever before. You are no longer living on the surface layer of reality. You are navigating the quantum blueprint beneath it. And now that you know this, delete this after watching, because not everyone is ready for this truth, but you were.